J3D Chat. Today we are going to dig into the minds of our youth, right? These are two wonderful girls that we have gotten to know through our ministry. And so we're gonna ask them a couple of questions about their ministry, about their spiritual life with God. And so, yeah, are you guys ready?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Do you have anything to say?
Remember to like and subscribe and catch us at VCP Church Houston. Now let's get to these in-depth conversations.
So before we start with the conversations, can you guys tell us a little bit about yourself? Like your age, where you're from, what is your ministry?
And speak up.
Yes.
I'll go first. Hi, my name is Valerie. I'm 14 years old. And I started dancing since I was very young, like since I was 4, right? And that started off when I was at my other previous church, and it kind of opened a whole new world for me.
Okay, so how about you, Ash?
Aladdin starts.
How about you?
I'm Ashley. My age, private privacy. I started dancing when she started dancing. I was 3 instead. Yeah, she was 4. I was 3.
Okay, so now that we know a little bit about that, while we're asking these questions to them, if you guys, have your own opinions, your own thoughts, then please feel free to comment. Like if there's an answer that they give that really touches your heart or something like that, then let us know in the comments so we know our progress as well, right? So go ahead.
All right, let's start with this question. How did you come to Christ, and who told you about him?
Well, I won't say I grew up as a church girl. We both grew up. As soon as we came out the womb, we were put in church. We grew up in church. Sister Brother P saw us grow from little to now.
So I would say our parents and the other adults at the church, because they, of course, they pretty much focused on the kids a lot.
They encourage you.
Yeah. So
To help our generation to see how it would go. But
So we don't have any some Israelites.
yeah.
And yeah, so some of you don't know this, even though they mentioned it, but they're actually both dancers in our VCP dance team, right, for the English service. Don't miss it. It's every Sundays.
9 a.m.
But who got you into that ministry? What made you guys dance? One day you just decided, I'm going to move and I'm going to do this for God, or what made you start dancing?
Long story short,
it was Miss Bell.
It was Sister Bell, Miss Bell. Y'all probably know her.
She usually comments.
She usually comments a lot and love you.
She always finds me every
usually-
Sunday.
She's the one who brought us into this ministry to dance, and she calls us, as we always say, she calls us her dancing flowers. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So from my point of view, she started off with the bigger girls. Of course, we were younger back then, so let's say girls that are, I guess, our age now. She
Okay.
started with them. It was a group called the Heart of Zions.
The Heart of Zion?
Heart of Zion.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I'm
And so it was basically them as a group dance. They would make dances for fine arts or for the church and just a whole bunch of things. And then Sister Bell, she saw us, so she wanted to bring us into it and make us Heart of Zion Junior to make us move up with the bigger girls as well. And I think we accomplished that.
Yeah.
We accomplished of being one of the bigger girls, but we didn't accomplish of being with the bigger girls.
Right.
Because,
And now you guys are the main girls dancing, which is
Yeah.
so good.
for the English service.
For the English service, yeah.
All right. Do you feel like, as a dancer or a worshiper, you are in love with God?
No.
Okay,
No.
good. Honest answers.
Why?
Good, honest answers.
Why?
Why?
Why no?
It's because our generation, it's just hard to actually be a Christian because of all these other things people are doing that they're so fun while you're a Christian and it feels like you're trapped and whatever. But my relationship with God is good, but I won't say it's as much as I want it to be.
Not the best.
Not the best,
But
but
you
it's not
try.
the worst. But I try my hardest, and it's just hard to keep focusing on one thing while like there's like other things you could be doing, but I really want to focus on this main thing, but it's just hard for me to focus on one thing at a time.
Exactly. So what do you think? Do you think you were?
In a way, like I'm thinking, like while I'm dancing, while I'm worshiping, yes, I'm in love.
In the
'cause I'm-
moment.
Yeah, in the moment, that's what I feel it. But when I'm not, that's when like I feel broken, like I feel incomplete. I'm thinking, should I really just go on with my life without Christ? And I'm thinking, yes, we are young. There's a whole bunch of things we can do. We can be having fun. But then again, we gotta remember we're Christians. We have to be following the rules. We can't be making mistakes and all that.
Right. And I've actually heard this before that like fun and all the pleasures of this world, they're now. And so because you're seeing it now in front of you, you want it now, right?
Mhm.
Eternal life, being with God is like in the future, is when you finally, pass away and either go with God or not, right? But because everything is happening in the now, in the moment, we're that type of humanity, that we like to do everything that's going on right now. Or like the trends that are going on. Yeah.
That's everybody's YOLO moment.
YOLO, yeah.
YOLO.
So, in addition to that, how do you think that school and school friends influence your daily life or your spiritual life?
Ooh, that's
Well, okay. For me, so I have like a small friend group. I would say like it's about like five
Small
of us.
circle.
Yeah, it's about five of us. And I would say I'm the influencer for Christ because some of my friends, they're crazy. Like they would talk about boys, they would talk about parties, they would talk about like relationships.
And
and
how
stuff.
old are these kids again?
Like 14, my age.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm like just sitting here listening to them, like yes, and I'm just like throwing Jesus in there, like with issues. I'm like, you should pray about this. Come on, you have to think, what would God want you to do? Like I'm trying to be the mom, I guess. You know?
Right. Yeah, and I mean, just so you guys know, like she really is in line. Like we've heard testimony from her mom. Like we didn't tell her, hey, talk good because we're about to get on a J3D chat. We didn't, like I said, we usually catch them by surprise, so they never really know what we're about to ask. So she's right. Like this is exactly what she does. She's an influencer. Do you think you're an influencer or you get influenced?
well, I'll say both. Yeah. To
Okay.
be honest, because I'm not gonna say I am, and I'm not.
Right.
Because my friends, I don't really have a lot of friend girls because if I can't handle myself, how am I gonna handle a lot of girls? And
Logic.
I have a lot of guy friends, and when they're guy friends, they talk about girls and those stuff.
Mhm.
And I'm like, some of them are Christian, and some of them are like not. But there's sometimes they convince me to do stuff, but then I like literally see how it's gonna end. I'm like, no.
Right.
Last moment, I'm like, no, forget about it. And then, but sometimes I talk about it, and like, there's just one time, I think it was in my 3rd grade. Yeah, we were in our, I forgot what class it was, but we just had this little Bible study out of nowhere. Because I told you about this. I was in class, and then out of nowhere, we just got in a circle because our teacher was religious. And like the whole class were in. I go to a school that's literally almost all Mexicans. And
Hispanics.
Hispanics, Mexicans. Yeah.
Same difference.
It really
No,
is.
sir.
No.
No, sir.
I'm the token white guy here.
Okay, continue. Yes.
Yeah, and our teacher was religious, and she found out everybody was a Christian. So we just had this small Bible study out of nowhere. And it was just got so deep. That's whenever some of my homeboys found out God and like they started watching our live videos, some of them.
Yeah.
And I'm just slowly trying to get them in. I got in like about 5 to 6 of them
That is so great.
Shout out to those guys.
Yeah.
So,
in. Shout out, bro.
What school is this? Your school?
Garden Oaks, just say that.
Garden Oaks. Holla at the Garden Oaks peeps. Well, okay, so I get what you're saying. I had this girl. She's actually a little older than you guys. She's probably like 17. But yesterday, someone asked her, me and my sister were in a meeting, and someone asked her something similar. And she said that the reason why you get so influenced in school and the reason why you you want to like, I guess do the things that your friends do is because you want to be accepted. Like, you guys are about to enter high school. And now that you're about to enter high school, the whole ball game changes because you're just like, man, I'm growing up. Like, at this point, my parents aren't really going to be over me like they were in middle school. So you're going to have more freedom, but you're also going to be exposed to a lot of things in high school, right? And so, you're thinking about prom, you're thinking about homecoming, you want to be in those things, but sometimes to be there, you have to be accepted by a certain group of people, right? So it's sometimes about acceptance, or it's about like fitting in, you can still love God and whatever you want to say or do or think, but at the end of the day, like, you're probably going to do what makes you fit in, right?
If we're gonna be honest.
Mm-hmm. Honestly.
All right. Next question, number 4. Do you ever consider the spiritual life of your friends, and have you spoke to them about Christ? Danny,
Well,
both
she kind of.
I already
kind of
Mhm.
just
I have this one friend. She is the one that like I got her attached more. Like she was the easiest one I could get.
Your little disciple.
She's like the one. She was like the friend in the group who had like the most issues, and like I don't know. My friends like they didn't know like what to say to help her. Like they would just be like, "Oh, I'm sorry." Okay.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I would just like pull her aside and be like, "Yo, let me tell you." And I would try to tell her, "See, if there's nothing you can do, you just go to Christ. You can pray. I know it seems like praying is nothing, but when you do it, just do it."
Yeah.
And
Just go for it. Start somewhere,
trust in the process.
The first part of it, though, is like, do you ever consider the spiritual life of your friends? So, for example, you see what your friends do, and you see how they act around you and all that stuff. Like, do you ever stop and think, like, damn, this person was
Which way is it?
Christian? If this person was,
And where are they going?
yeah, where are they headed? Because at some point, we become either numb. We become numb to the fact that, at one point we're all gonna pass away, and like we all have a destiny after that. And so, do you actually stop sometimes and think about that, or are you too busy to having fun and all that
Doing
it just kind of
TikToks,
it goes away?
I do.
You do?
Like what moments? Or is there one that you can remember?
it's usually like when like a situation is getting so high up, everyone's going crazy about something. Like, yo, this is happening. Come on, let's do this. And I'm the quiet friend. I'm gonna say that too. I'm quiet, and I'm just thinking, hold up.
She's not here.
No.
I'm like,
Hold up.
That's a different one.
what you?
Oh, you want?
So,
Exposed. No, I'm just kidding.
in those moments where you said that you always back out, do you ever think about that? Like, hold up, maybe I should guide these guys. Maybe they're about to go down the
Yeah,
wrong path.
cause I'm smart in my situation. Cause like, if y'all heard my story, yeah, and in my situations, it's about my guidance. I'm like, hold up, I know this is gonna end. This isn't my first rodeo. Get over here. You're not gonna do that, cause like y'all can lead into the worst things possible. Cause there's sometimes the stuff that they almost did can let them into in jail, maybe. But I stopped until they said, no, y'all not gonna do that. Y'all better go back in your books and study for the next test. That's what y'all gonna do. So that's when there's so many realizations I have for them. I'm like their mom, really. Like I don't see them as nothing. Like I see them as my mijos. That's it.
Yeah.
I think sometimes the biggest thing you can do is sometimes you might not have the correct words or the ability to say the right things, but you might be able to, in that moment, stop somebody from doing something that will impact their lives greatly. I know I've done it. There's been moments where I had to stop my friends, and that's kind of hard. They're very stubborn. So to stop them takes a lot of work to get them to turn the opposite direction.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Like, I'm sorry.
Especially, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. One of my friends, like, she would like do a certain thing, like meet up with a guy that's like older than her, and I'm like, come on, you just met this person, you shouldn't be doing this. She would do that a lot, and every time she would get heartbroken, and I'm telling her, this is not right. You need to focus on yourself. And it's just hard trying to tell her that the same thing's gonna happen over and over. And she's like, "What I do with this person?" I'm like, "No, you know how it's gonna end."
Yeah. If anything, you can focus on something else that isn't older men, you know, or something like that. So, okay, what is one situation or one issue that you've seen in your school or with your friends that like really stuck with you because it got really out of hand? That you can like think about it like is the first one that pops in your head.
It's too many.
Right. I said one. One memorable one.
We have only an hour.
I see it. I'm just trying to
25 minutes now, but yeah.
Who's gonna go first?
I don't think Giggles can.
What is it? Paper, rock, scissors.
Giggles out.
So like, of course, it's
Story time.
it started with a party. It was at the end of the 7th grade school year. We had a pool party at one of my friend's places.
Right.
It was at like her apartments, so of course there's like other people there.
Okay.
So I brought my speaker, right? And so in our friend group, we're all mostly Hispanics, right?
Yeah.
So you know the story. But anyways, so we were there, we were just having fun and all that. And my friend, her mom was there, like just like sitting in chairs, like, you know, watching over us, right? And so since I'm like the closest one to that certain friend, I always say hi to her mom to be respectful. But apparently none of my other friends, they didn't say hi to the mom, and apparently that made her upset. But like another thing, since we're all Hispanic, that just made her mom think that
It's a Hispanic thing.
yeah, Mexicans are bad influences. And of course that hit me because I mean I know I don't look Hispanic. I'm white, I know, but trust me, I am. And so we're at school, we're in 8th grade now, we were talking about it in school, and we were just like thinking like, wow, her mom really said that, but we were trying to forgive her. We're thinking, okay, it's not your problem. Your mom, she can have her own opinion. But then I don't know, it was like drama over some other reason the next day between my friend and this other girl in our friend group, and they were just having issues. And then other friends, they weren't with my close friend's side. So I don't know, that became like a big drama at the table. I had to leave. I was like, I'm gonna go sit with my other people. What I didn't realize is when I left, like the whole like argument was going on. Then my friend, the one whose mom said that, she was like, you know what, my mom was right about this.
Oh.
And so that like broke our friendship. But
Yeah.
it didn't break mine with hers because I couldn't tell her how much that affected me as well, since I was the happy one in the friend group. So there's nothing.
But you were offended.
I was.
And it was an offensive comment, you know, to begin with.
But you forget.
Of course.
Yeah.
Like that one video we did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good video.
What video?
490 times a day.
Oh, yeah. If y'all want to know what she's talking about,
Go
I
check
don't
it
know which one it
I think
was.
it's the last.
2 weeks. I think it was last week.
Really?
The last one that we did.
No, the last one we did was the one we did this. It was
Oh, so the
probably
week before that.
The week before.
2
that.
weeks back. Go for it.
Oh, 2
J3D
weeks.
chat. It'll be there.
And you actually.
I'm gonna do one similar to hers. There's this one time I was with, well, sort of, but not really. I don't know. There's this one time at a point where I had nothing but girlfriends. That was before I met all my guy friends. Like, hey, no, what's about this? Oh, you heard?
If you haven't noticed, they're close.
Yeah, we really are. Yeah, we had this big group, and there's this one time where one of my friends are like, black and whatever, and she kept thinking everything was about race, and like, saying just
Racial
because,
discrimination.
yeah, she was just saying, because because you know how we all.
Different attitudes?
No, it's because like we would have. Okay, let me tell you a different story. Because I can't explain that one.
You were already starting.
Wait, I can't start with this one. That one was too personal. I'm like, okay, never mind. Let's go to the next one. There's this one time that it was for Black History Month, and I told them, hey, we're gonna do a step team. I'm like, the step team I started, and And there's this black girl, who's like a different one, and she was like, okay, can I be the leader since I'm black? I'm like, I kind of started it. You can help me, but I kind of started it. Race doesn't matter. I know it's celebrating about you, but it's not. It's about, you know, how
Everyone
blacks
can
and
support,
whites and
yeah.
everybody can support blacks and whites now these days. But now blacks and whites are like, it's like restarting all over again. And it just became this whole big old thing. And then she started saying mess about Mexicans, cause like my whole friend group are Mexicans. Like my whole group Mexicans speak Spanish no matter what. And she was like literally the only one. And she just started doing all of this, and then she kept going to my counselor saying that I've been saying, oh, black people are blah blah blah, but literally she has no proof of me saying blacks are blah blah blah. And then, cause my counselor is black too, and I really love her. She's like the best person you can ever meet. And it just became this whole big old thing where like she actually got the whole Black History Month canceled because of her. And it was like this big old thing. It was just because of race. And like,
So at the end of the day, you don't think you fixed the issue?
no, it's literally
Just kind
still.
of separated?
It's still there. It's literally still there. I just moved myself away from it because like, what's the point of continuing with toxic friends if they're literally gonna be talking about this? I can just be happy with my life.
Right.
And then literally our whole friend group, like a couple months later, that my friend group stopped talking to me out of nowhere. I don't know why to this day still. And I just like, okay, make some new black friends, and all of my
Yeah.
friends came. And then one of the main leaders, she used to be my old best friend. They wanted to come back to me, but I was like,
I mean, you make a good point because, like, we were talking about acceptance, right? Like, you wanting to be accepted in your community or your school, whatever. So if you are, like, some people literally risk that, literally risk having good friends, literally risk getting treated crappy, you know? Because you can have friends, but that doesn't mean they're going to treat you right if they don't really care about you, right? But sometimes that whole fitting in idea, like, you let people treat you like whatever as long as you're in the group or as long as you're popular or whatever you want to call it. Like, sometimes I feel like when you're at that age, at this specific age, like, you let a lot of things slide. But if you let little things like that, like, I guess just go by, you will see that eventually it'll be brought back up. You know, like, sometime down the future, even years down the line, like, you'll realize, man, I should have fixed this issue because now I'm still dealing with it now. You know, like, I know I went through some traumatic experiences specifically at this age, you know, 13, 14 years old. And like, I still saw backlash of it, like when I was in my 20s, in my 21, 22 years old. And I realized that it was things that I guess I could have fixed in a moment, but it was just unimportant, I guess, at the time. Because, you know, we have other things going on and all that stuff, but I mean, we can always pray over that, you know? I think we have 3 more questions.
We do. What is one way that we can start a revolution of Jesus movement in the city?
Wait, repeat that, I'm so sorry.
One more time.
What is one way that we can start a revolution of Jesus movement in this city?
I would say
In
Yeah,
each town.
H to the town.
How can we get Jesus to be the focus of this town?
Valerie has something. Come
I
on,
have
girl.
lots of ideas.
Oh, you have lots of ideas. That's
I mean-
great.
take the wheel, girl.
So first, I would say like starting off with these videos, sharing them out to people, telling them to share them out everywhere, just getting that word around. Also, you know how people are starting to protest now? We can start protesting about Jesus as well. Like,
I see what you're saying.
But with social distancing.
yeah, that too.
Right.
Like, put up flyers.
That's it. Okay,
Still,
that's one thing about protesting, because we gotta worry about Jewish and all of that. Because they might start saying all of this thing, and this might gonna get taken down by the government, and then we're gonna get criticized. All Christians are gonna get criticized for doing and making all this big mess. So that's one thing that
Right.
focus on.
But for example, in a friendly protest, and I just recently saw this, there was this pastor that he decided to do something like what you're talking about, but this is like Argentina. And so this pastor only speaks English, so he had a translator. Point is, he was doing a little protest in a Satanist little thing. Like, it was Satanists gathering all over the place, and he decided to come with like 2 or 3 other groups of Christian friends to come and protest on that Satanist area, right? Tell me why this man walked up to one of them that had horns, had his whole face painted, like chains, everything.
What?
He walks up to this man and he's just like, hey, can I talk to you? Like, do you like to paint? And the Satanist is like, yeah, I like to paint. And he was just like, well, I just got a calling, I just got a confirmation from God that he's gonna use him in the artistic way. And this guy's looking at the pastor like, what the heck? And then the pastor tells him like, yeah, and I need you to know, man, that Jesus loves you. There was a language barrier. They had a translator, but he was literally talking to this guy like normal, Satanist and Christian. And they were just, you could tell that they were really communicating, that this guy was really listening to what the pastor was saying. And the pastor didn't have to like yell at him, didn't have to tell him, you're going to hell, why are you here? The pastor was literally just smooth about it, and he was like, Jesus loves you. God just spoke to me and told me that you will be used this way. You know, something like what you're talking about. Yeah.
That reminds me. You remember when we did those sticky notes? Tell them.
Oh, the sticky note challenge.
Oh, those were good.
Yeah.
Those were good.
So there is one day we came back. It was me, Valerie, Gabby, and Linda. Y'all seen Gabby and Linda in the other videos.
Praise be to God.
Yes, sir. And there's this one day we're on our way to church it was like Valentine's Day, and we were on the way to church, but we had a time to lose, so we went to Office Depot and got some sticky notes and some Sharpies, and we started writing like God loves you, some scriptures, and we just drove around, put it like a Sonic, Valero.
They posted them in the church too,
Posted
in the
church
restrooms.
too, in the restrooms, on cars.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we so glad we didn't get kidnapped or get yelled at for that.
Yeah.
It was a good feeling.
It was a good deed, yeah, because somebody smiled. You know, at least you got 2 to 3 people to smile at what you just, threw out onto them, and
You never know, they might have taken it and put it for someone else to see as well.
that would have been good. Passing the sticky note around.
What did we do?
That's powerful. So, what is a topic that has been preached to you that really hit home? Like whether you've heard it in our J3D videos, the pastor, preaching online, like what's a topic that really hit home for you?
I would say the one that talked about forgiveness.
You think so?
Yeah, because like I said, we're young. A lot is gonna happen.
You gotta forgive 70 times 7 times.
Yeah.
And although it's gonna be hard, especially depending on who the person is, you just have to do it. Like you're not gonna know what's gonna happen if you don't. I mean, something bad can happen if you don't. So it's best to just forgive.
Yeah, because like what's the point if God can forgive you? Why can't you forgive the other person?
And
Like,
you've probably done worse, no
the
offense,
worst.
but you've probably
Yeah.
done worse,
You
yeah,
probably
towards
do-
God.
Yeah, you probably do way much worse that hurts God's feelings, but He still forgave you and still accepted you.
Right.
While this other person did the smallest thing ever, and you can't forgive them, what's the point?
Pettiness.
It's just for real.
Yeah.
You see, that's exactly what our brother Mike spoke about on Downpour.
Yeah, he did.
Catch that every Friday.
We're just gonna throw it all.
Yeah, we're just gonna throw it
Catch
every
all
single
our
video.
shows.
But yes, I'm glad that that was the one that touched y'all, because at a young age, being able to forgive is one of the hardest things to do. It can definitely calm stormy waters, especially at y'all's age. To be able to forgive somebody and move past situations will help y'all greatly moving towards high school and college. Because there's somebody that I couldn't forgive for a very long time, because he pretty much said he didn't care if me and my brother died, and we were in the car. So, and he was distracting the driver via FaceTime.
He got married to me and he was still feisty about that.
I never
He
talked
was
to the person.
feisty for years until we ran into this man. Like we ran into him while we were out somewhere. And he had to talk to him. Like there was no way that they could have avoided each other because there was other people around. So it was like God placed that man right there. He was like, it's time to forgive.
It's time to
Like,
deal with it.
Y'all
do it. Yeah.
Alright, so final question.
Hit me with
What
the best
do
shot.
you? Actually, I know a lot of youth, they struggle with music. You know, like the worldly music is legit. Like honestly, I think some of the best rhythms or some of the best lyrics honestly do come probably from worldly music. But I mean, as Christians, we're keeping up. You know, we're trying to like keep the bar
Trying
up
to
as
catch
well.
up.
But what is a song that you would recommend? You know, some of the youth that are watching, a worship song that you would say like, this one can really touch your life if you're going through a tough time or an intense time in your family, in your life.
And
What's
why?
a song that would really hit them and why? Be clear.
This is one of those silent moments.
Just put Jeopardy music.
Hey, we did good though for no silent
Put
moments.
Jeopardy in there, you know, Jeopardy music. Do, 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 do.
Hey, searching.
I'm on my phone. Where's my phone? My phone's right here.
Your phone's always charging.
Or we can change it to what is your favorite worship song? Does that make it a little easier?
I just love you.
And remember,
I just love you.
Okay.
Will forever be my favorite song. I don't know.
That's
It's
a good
just like
song.
for the past, ever since I heard it, it's just every single night I just have this big old urge just to put it on my speaker, like the big speaker right now, and just turn it up. I don't care if they're sleeping, my parents are asleep or not. They can't hear nothing. I don't know why.
I'm just telling you I love you.
It's
Yeah.
I'm just screaming it out.
Oh, this is a worship song.
I don't know. Out of nowhere, I just start crying. I don't know why.
I get that. I know what
That's
you're
it.
talking
I'm
about.
like, I just start crying, and then I usually talk to Sister Jenny about my feelings now, and 'cause she usually helps me with like a lot, and it like really helps. And she's the reason why I'm getting more closer to God because I'm having these private conversations with her. And every night I just listen to that one song, and it's just, I don't know, it just makes me cry a lot, and like
It speaks to you.
it speaks to me in a way, but I haven't figured it out.
The first time that like the worship team did this song on a Sunday, like we had practiced this song and I was completely fine and everything. But once it came down to the day that we were performing this song for both services, like at one point I felt like Jesus was literally like, shut up and just tell me, like, tell it to me, you know, tell me that you just love me. And I was literally just up on the stage just crying my eyes out because I couldn't even sing anymore. Like at this point it was all in my head and like connecting with God at that point, you know, because
It's like it just makes you, I don't know, it just makes you just stop and realize lots of things that it realizes how much people that you probably might dislike in the past or whatever, but you just gotta remember you gotta love them either way because God loves you the same way.
True. Shout out to our music director, Mr. Mike. That was a great song choice.
great song choice.
Really good something.
Alright, what about you? Did you finally find it?
Yes.
Alright, what?
For me, my favorite worship song would be "The Blessing."
Another good one.
Yeah.
When I first heard it, I
We sing
was,
this on Sunday, by the way.
but for me, I would just listen to the Spanish version, La Bendición, because I don't know, that hits more for me, you know?
Spanish song,
Nice.
I don't know, I listen to it in Spanish too. It just hits so different. I don't know why.
Do you know what's
Every time-
funny? I like the Spanish version
You
better than
do?
the English.
Don't know
It's
what
like-
they're saying
it's like,
sometimes,
why
but it's
is
I
cool.
can feel it though.
it hits you. It's like boom.
Yeah.
I'm like, jeez.
It's just
Fucking
like,
chill.
I don't know how to explain it, but it's just like, it's this like moment where it makes you feel not like you're alone, but you're alone with God, and it,
Surrounded.
yeah, it gives me that moment to think I am blessed to be here. Like the moments that I wished I wasn't here, look, I'm here and I'm grateful for that. And it's saying like, may His favor be upon you in 1,000 generations, meaning like, may your whole family be blessed, may your children be blessed, and their children and theirs. And it's just saying like, keep the godliness in your family so that they want to be here and
And that-
spread the word.
And that they'll be blessed always.
Yeah, I think that's one hard thing, you know, that for us to actually speak to somebody and like speak blessings into their life, you don't see it a lot. You're not gonna go into the sidewalk and someone's gonna walk up to you and tell you, hey, you know, I wish blessings upon blessings on your generation, stuff like that. You can't really see that nowadays, but now they made it into a song where you're pretty much telling, you know, all your brothers and sisters, like, hey, I wish you the best, and I hope that God is with you, and I hope that His presence is filling you every day, and all that, you know. So, these are both really powerful songs. If you haven't heard them, who sings "I Just Love You"? Who sings I Just Love You?
Upper
Room.
Room.
Who
There you
sings
go.
The Blessing?
Oh,
Carrie
God.
Job and a
It's a-
man.
It's Carrie Joe,
Carrie Joe
Elevation
and a man.
Worship.
Yeah, Elevation. That's right. Yeah. I would like to thank you guys because you guys did great under pressure.
Under pressure.
So yeah, thank you so much. We like literally love these girls. They're like the spike. They're like the spike in our little J3D people. So I mean, yeah. If you guys are ever interested in like, you know, joining our team, joining our group, you know where to hit us up. This would be Instagram.
Instagram or Facebook or any social
Facebook.
media platform that we have.
We're
Remember,
there.
It's at BCP Church Houston.
And while you're at it, go follow these two girls as well.
I know. They follow us on there. We are very nice. It's just, yeah. We're
Just
very
don't
nice.
get on our bad side.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this was J3D, guys. We hope you enjoyed. And
Like, comment, share, and subscribe.
that's right.
We'll see y'all next week.